myself, even with things that don't feel fun, that don't feel lovable. Today, I had a panic attack in the evening. I've had them off and on since I didn't used to know what panic attack was. So from the time in which I knew what one was, probably 19, maybe 20. Prior to that, if I was doing things that made me paranoid, I would sometimes have panic attacks, but I didn't know what they were at the time. So who knows when I started having them. Years ago, I worked with a counselor. We identified my triggers, things like that. But then yesterday when I had the panic attack, there wasn't anything that was clearly triggering it. And sometimes if I feel one coming on, occasionally I can head it off. But that one, I just had to ride it out. Find a calm place, sit down, drink some water. I was telling my husband I'm freaking out, and then he was asking me what it was about, which I don't know what it's like for other people's panic attacks. Mine, clutter bothers me, like when I'm having a panic attack, I think about the environment, I get worried about the world, I worry about money, I worry about clutter. It's like 10,000 worries crowd my mind at 1 minute or 2 minutes, and it's stressful. I do not like it. I don't know if it's part of a neurodivergent brain or just my emotional makeup. Just gotten done exercising for over an hour. And so in some ways I'm thinking, well, that should be the least likely time to have a panic attack because I've expended all these stress hormones, but who knows? I don't want other people who have panic attacks to feel alone. It's just nice sometimes to know, oh, even if somebody else seems fine, they struggle with something like a panic attack that can come out of the blue. I mean, like I said, once I learn my triggers, I try and avoid things that'll trigger me, or I try and set things up so that I don't get stressed out enough to get triggered. Because if the trigger happens, then the panic attack happens. But yesterday, I didn't have a trigger that I could be aware of that caused it. And so it was random, you know? And that, to me, is even more frustrating. Of the worst times are when I've had panic attacks in front of my classes, when I was teaching, had someone I'm driving, maybe once or twice. Usually I'm at home or someone else's house, but it's not fun. It's not pretty. But maybe it's all just part of the balance of life. You know, I've got some good things that my sensitivity does for me, and then the fact that I'm hyper aware and observant of things and have psychic abilities. It's like maybe when your computer glitches, it's one of those, my brain and emotions and my environment just all glitch. And there I am. Do you have some of these mental, emotional glitches? Sending you support today and self-love. I try and love myself even with things that don't feel fun, that don't feel lovable, that don't feel comfortable. But I just have to remind myself, like, this is life. There are these moments that feel difficult, but when they're over and you love yourself at the end of it, then you're okay. Wishing you the best today.